Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started here in just a couple of minutes. Thank you for waiting. If you have any questions or if you cannot hear or you're having any audio connections, just make sure to put it in the questions section and we can help you get that solved. So just a few minutes here and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So thank you again, everyone, for joining the e-learning webinar that we're having this morning. Go ahead and get rolling. So who is presenting? Myself. My name is Haley Wandrow. I'm a technical services specialist here at Optitex. I primarily do training and demos, and me and Lauren actually did a lot of the content that's going to be on the e-learning site. So I'll let Lauren introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Lauren R. I've been at Optitex just over 7 years. I'm a professional services consultant and I deal mainly with specific accounts and kind of do everything that they might need. And like Haley said, you know, she and I have worked really closely on a lot of the e-learning content. So we're really excited to show you all about the site. I'll let Haley continue.
Okay, so you may ask, what can I find on the site? So the site is comprised of a certification program, e-learning, which is going to be your coursework. We also have some additional resources like express videos, HowTo Guides, the DigiNote Series that launches in the Americas, as well as some podcasts and actually a place where all of our webinars are found as well. So we're going to kind of take a deep dive into each one of these topics, and then Lauren's actually going to show you live on the site. So first is the certification. We do have a certification program. So if you'd like to be a certified Optitex, either 2D or 3D user, you can take one of our certifications. So the cost is per certificate. It's $275 US. Right now, we're a 2D certification, but beginning on December 3rd, which is Monday, we will also offer a 3D certification. So that's an individual cost. Each certification is $275. Now, as we go through the webinar, we'll also talk a lot about subscriptions. So it's important to note that the e-learning website itself is subscription-based, but the certification program is separate, right? It's an optional choice. You can decide if you'd like to be certified or not. It's not necessary. It's just a personal choice. We also have some other certifications coming in 2019, and that will be for grading and marker making. So the e-learning, that is kind of the heart and soul of the site. If you're a beginner or a new user, this is for you. It's also great for maybe an intermediate or an advanced user if you want to get some extra tips. What it is it's a structured program of courses. So think of it kind of like your online coursework, right? If you were going to take a course at a college or university, you're going to start from not knowing anything to knowing all the basics or advanced knowledge within a program. So that's how the e-learning site is set up, is that you have courses that build off of each other to grow your knowledge, especially if you don't know anything at all, if you're a new user. Each program consists of courses with videos, files, and test questions. When we say program, we mean 2D, 3D, grading, marker. Those are all programs, right? So there's different sets of courses inside of those programs. So when you take one of the courses, you're going to have these videos with downloadable files and quiz questions. And we're going to show you all that here a little bit. The programs we have, by the way, currently are installation and keys. So if you need to know about installing or licenses, we have 2D, we have 3D, and launching on Thursday, we will have what's called Applied 3D, and we'll talk to you about that here too. Now, once you're finished with your coursework, once you've completed a course, you're going to get this nice certificate. So this certificate is great because if you have a team of individuals that you work with, or basically you want to have trained on Optitex, you can request for them to send you the certificate so you know that they've completed the course with 80% or higher. So this is a great way for you as a manager to kind of give them a login, have them go learn, and send you the certificate to make sure that they're keeping on track. The next topic would be express videos. So express videos are short 1 to 2 minute videos that cover very specific topics. Maybe you want to know about a certain function, like the grading tool. Maybe you want to know about all the preferences related to the fold tool. So these videos are meant to be very specific about certain topics. So they're different from e-learning, and that e-learning takes you from start to finish. Express videos cover a very specific topic. Also on the site is HowTo Guides. HowTo Guides are downloadable files. They're PDF files. So these are great guides for, maybe you wanted to know the hotkeys. Maybe you wanted to know a certain function and you want to download that, you want to print it off, and you want to have it next to you while you learn. So that's what you're going to find in the How-To Guides section. Did you know? This is a popular Optitex email series that we have here in the Americas by a salesperson by the name of Sabrina Cove. What is included in the DigiNote Series is more workflow related. So maybe you wanted to know about snapping points and why you might use that, or all the ways you can report to an Excel sheet in Optitex. So that's what you're going to find in the DigiNote, is specific tools that we've outlined a workflow with them. Podcasts are something that actually me and Lauren host together. They are focusing on, what Optitex does in the industry, as well as maybe different trade shows that we do, or just kind of getting you connected with us as a company versus, just chit-chatting about everyday life. So included in there are, things like from the support desk. It's a section that we talk about, common tickets that come in, like common questions that people struggle with. So we kind of, talk about those, discuss the answers to a lot of those questions. And then towards the end, we actually interview some of our other team members here. So the episode 2 is a discussion about when I actually went to Brazil to train a dealer there. So just kind of getting, sharing that information about like what we're doing in other countries. Episode 3 is about small businesses. So if you want to know what we do with small businesses, we've interviewed someone by the name of Sheila Valentine, who is a small business sales manager here. And webinars. So here you're going to be able to see all of our live training sessions, all of our live webinars, just like this one. So these are pre-recorded, but you have access to them, which covers a lot of different topics. For example, we have the 017 webinar where we talk about the 017 new features. We have the Let's Grade webinar that talks about grading, and other things in there would be something like the Collaborate tool, a webinar we hosted about that. So you may ask yourself, why should I subscribe, or why would I subscribe? So the biggest reason is because you get to obviously learn more about Optitex. You can really maximize your knowledge on the software, and by knowing more about the software, it just makes your life easier, right? Maybe there's more functions in there that you just never used because you didn't know they existed. So here in the e-learning, you're going to be able to learn those, which is inevitably going to make your job easier and more efficient. Also great about the e-learning site is you can learn at your own pace. You don't have to wait for a one-on-one training session with a trainer. You can just log in, whether that's on a phone, a tablet, a computer, watch the e-learning videos, take the quiz questions, and learn wherever, whenever. It also standardizes the knowledge of your employees. So if you do have a team of individuals, it does help to make sure that everybody's learning the same content, whether they log in and do it at a different time. But in the past, right, it's always been one-on-one training. So this is a way for them to kind of get in there, learn the same information, and it's not dependent on who did it and who the trainer was or what time of the year they were trained on it. It's all the same information. So what's currently available? We're going to go ahead and we're going to do a live tour of the site. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and launch this, and I'm going to hand it over to Lauren.
Thanks, Haley. Okay, so this is the website here. So what we're going to do is go through a little bit of a tour through the site. I'm going to go into each of the sections that Haley talked about so you can kind of get a better idea of what things look like on there. So we got to this website. Haley clicked the link. It's learning.efi.com/Optitex. So that will take you directly to our page. If you did go to learning.efi.com, that will go to our main site, which is our EFI learning site. So you would then need to scroll down to the bottom to find the Optitex button. So this site here contains all the information. So right now we're not logged in. So before I log in, I just want to show you some things that we'll see once we do try to look at some content. So for example, if I click on Express Videos here, I'm going to get a pop-up that is reminding me that I do need to be logged in. So all of the content is behind the login, so you'll need that to be able to connect. So at the top here, I'm going to click on Login, and I already have my username and password here, so I'm just going to click Login. If you're a new user and you want to create a login, you can go in here and do that. The login will be to see some of the content. However, there is content that you require a subscription for. So actually the best thing, rather than creating an account, is to reach out to your account manager to find out about getting a subscription. And then we'll go through creating the account for you. So here I'll log in, and then once I'm logged in, I'll be able to access all the content. What you see now is a little bit different than what we just saw on the previous page. So when I log in, that will take me directly to the My Learning section. So that's anything that I'm enrolled in. I can see what I'm currently enrolled in. I can also see anything completed right here. So here I have 2 courses that I've completed. So I'm going to go back to current and show you a little bit about getting connected with the Getting Started course. So when you are enrolled in a subscription, we will automatically enroll you in this one course, Getting Started. So that's just a course that's going to take you through how the e-learning works. So I'll click Start in here. Now, what you're going to see at the very top in green is it says In Progress for me. I've started this course already, but I've not completed it. If you're brand new to logging into the site, yours will say confirmed and not in progress until you start it or you complete it, and then it'll say complete. So I'll click the launch button here, and it's going to launch the course. Now what you want is to make sure that your pop-up is not blocked because a second window opens, so we do need the pop-up to be available in your web browser. Click Start once you have the pop-up page loaded there, and it's going to go into the course. So here we see that this course is in progress. So you'll see that if you started a course already. So that's something really, really kind of nice that it will keep your progress. So you don't have to do the full course all in one sitting. So here I'm going to say that, yes, I want to continue. I'm going to pause this video because it's already playing. So this will automatically start playing at the very beginning here. So this takes you through a tour of the website a little bit, and then also a tour through the e-learning, which I can give you a tour of in a little bit once we go into one of the other courses. This course is just one video, and so it doesn't have all the content as far as questions and tests. So I'm going to show you that in a little bit. So once you are either finished with a course or you need to take a break and you want to come back later, you would click on the Save and Return button at the very top. And that'll take you back to the My Learning section for that course, right? So if I want to go back to the main site and log in and find any other content, I can use this Optitex button up here to go back to the main site. So at the very top, we just have a few buttons here that are going to take us down to these different sections I'll go through. Below that, we have a monthly updates button. So if you've been on the website before, you might have seen a different button. So we've swapped this out with a monthly update. So here, when I click that, it's going to launch into a page. So what we're going to be doing moving forward is putting in this page anything that's new. So you can see here for November, these are all the new things that are being added. So like Haley mentioned, we have the Applied 3D courses in there. And then we also have some changes that we did to some previous courses. And then you'll see the previous month. So we're going to add in every time the new updates. So you can kind of keep up to date with what might be new or new courses that are added so that you can enroll in those. So back to the web page. So we do have a quick video tour of the website, which is just a little bit shorter version of this webinar, basically. So check that out when you first get started. It'll remind you of the navigation and how to find the different content that you need. One thing that I did just skip over, there is also a search bar here. So if you wanted to search for walking or 3D buttons or anything like that, you can type in the search. It'll show you the content that has that information. So I'll go through the different sections. So the first one here we have is area of interest. So this is going to be if you have a specific topic that you want to cover. So there in the center we have digitizing and converting. If you want to focus on just pattern drafting, you would go to there. If you really only care about 3D, you'll click on 3D. If you're an IT person, maybe you only need to do setup and configuration. So this is really specific to what you need to focus on. So I'm going to skip the next section of learning solutions and come back to it, because that one we're going to go into some of the pages and look at the content. So the third section here is learning paths. So this is where the content is separated out by what type of job title or role you have. So for technical designer, you'll go in there and you'll find things that are related to measurement charts maybe, and other measuring, walking, stuff like that. And then the last section we have here is products. So the products is just separated out in content into the different categories of each product. So again, if you're looking at 3D, you would click on 3D. If you want to find out about the converters, you would go to the direct converters product. I'm going to go back up to the learning solutions and we'll get into some of the content there. So like Haley mentioned earlier, the learning solutions is really the heart and soul of the site. All of the content that's in there is separated out into the areas of interest, learning paths, and products. So the first one to just review is the certification. So here you have the certification. Currently we have only the 2D PDF certification. We will be, in the next week, adding in the 3D certification. So look for that in the next week or so. So here you can see just kind of information about why you would get certified, what you get from it. You can enroll here. Like Haley mentioned, the certification fee is $275. So if I click enroll now, I'll be able to purchase that. So you see here, I can add it to the cart. I can add an additional person. So instead of certifying myself, I could actually go in there and add all my employees if I want my whole team to get certified. Let's go back to the original page. So that will be the certification. So look for the 3D coming soon. Below that, we have the instructor-led classroom. So this is just some information about our live trainings that we have. So that's something that some of you may have already experienced with some of the people around the world. So these are the different offices that we currently have people working out of. And then you can just see the addresses there. So this is kind of just a little phone book for you of kind of where we're working out of. The next section we'll look through is the DigiNote Series. So this is something that Haley mentioned. Sabrina Cove runs this. So it's an email series, and basically what we're doing on our site is after the email has gone out for that month, then we are uploading it to here so that we can kind of have everyone have access to it, even if you're not subscribed to the email. So you can see here the different topics. So you would choose from the list what topic you want to review. So if I click on the view button here, that's going to take me to a page where I can choose the language, and then it's going to launch into that page. So here you can see the information. These are all like, did you know something, right? So did you know about track lines? There's screenshots, and an explanation of the different topics. Back to the main site. So now I'm going to go back to the main site here and just show you the podcast. So those are a few that Haley and I have recorded. We have some other topics planned for 2019. So look here for some new updates. And if you do have any topics for podcasts or actually any of the content, you can always email us to give us the ideas for things, and then we can create it. So next we have the webinars. So these are live webinars like this one that we are uploading here after. So if you weren't able to see this webinar, you want to review it again, you can come to here to see the webinar. So we actually did an e-learning one in August. So you could see that one that was, it was for a different region. Next, we have the HowTo Guides. So these are printable PDFs, so you can print out and have the information that you need. So just like the DigiNote Series, we'll click on the View button here, and then it will go into this page where I'll choose the language I want to view it in. And then here we have the guide. So this is just short one page, but it's really useful if you're getting started with 3D to just kind of remind you of the different steps from beginning to end, so you can make sure you haven't missed anything. So there's all kinds of things like that that'll kind of take you through workflows and steps in the how-to guides. Next, we have Express videos. So the Express videos are short videos, so they're a little bit different than the e-learning videos that we're going to look at in a second. These are really quick and kind of concise about a certain topic. So here you can see folding tool preferences. So that just goes through each of the preferences that we have related to folding to just explain what they all are. 3D segment shapes, if you want to create a 3D pipe shape, that just goes through the steps there and then where you would need to save it. So just click view and then that'll launch into the page. So here I can just click this play button. I can also expand it to full screen if I need to, see it larger. And you can see here, this is about 3.5 minutes. So they're kind of short, quick videos about the different topics. The next section we have is e-learning. So here we will go into there, and what you'll see is the full list of all the e-learning courses. So the first one in here is the Getting Started course that I'm already enrolled in my My Learning section. I can launch it from the My Learning. I can also launch it from here. So it'll do the exact same thing. It'll also remember your progress from either place where you launch it. What you'll see here is the first two are set with a price of free. So these are free no matter what if you just have a login. All the other items here you can see have a price with it crossed out. So if you don't have a subscription, you can pay per course. But if you really take a minute to do the math, you'll see the subscription is much better option. So here you can see all the e-learning. So it kind of starts with what's new and installing, and then goes through the 2D. And then when we scroll down farther, you'll get into the 3D and then the additional courses that we'll be adding. So let's take course 4, for example. I'm going to click the start button, which will enroll me in the course. It will put it in my learning to use later. And I can also just launch it from here. So you see at the top, it does say confirmed and not in progress like it did before. So when you first start, it's going to say confirmed. So the process will be the same. We'll click launch. It'll launch a pop-up. We'll click on start, and that will go directly into the course. So once that loads in there, I'll take you through the navigation. So here we have course 4, which is all about converting and import and export. So there's 2 different ways to navigate in here. One is by using the swipe menu with the images, and the other is by using this just kind of list here. So if I use the swipe, I'll click on the view button within the description. So the first page will always be the course content. So this will take us through what the course is about. So you'll have a little description of it, a reminder of the name, and then it will also have each of the modules. So if you want more information about those, you can click on them. It'll expand each section, and then you can see the description for that module. So this particular course has 4 modules. So what we can do is from here, go to the next page if we want by clicking videos and quizzes. And that will take us to a different swipe page. So here, to get started with the first module, I'll click on view on the first page. This will take us to the video. So here we can watch the video. It'll remind you of some information, like for example, these have been created using the beginner profile. So you have that there, so you can set up your settings and preferences to match if you want to follow along. You have here who trained in this particular video. It was Haley, and then also what version the video was created. So one thing to mention is that this video was created in 17.1, and we are on version 18 right now. In the spring, we'll be releasing version 19. What you may see is that the video is older than the version you have installed. What we're doing is updates to the videos as new things come up within the software. So for example, in this video, it's going over file types overview. There's no new file types that we're working with right now. So this video has not been updated. Once something's new, we'll be updating it with the new content. So at the very bottom, after you finish watching the video, you can click the quiz button here. That'll take you to the quiz question. So what you'll do here is choose an answer to the quiz. The purpose of the quiz is just a little bit of a knowledge check. So what we want is for you to make sure that you've kind of learned what you need to from that video. So just check the quiz question out. If you're getting it wrong, then it might mean that you should revisit the video just to make sure that you've kind of caught all the information. So here I'm going to select an incorrect answer just so you see what happens there. So I'll select the PDF answer, and I'm going to get an incorrect message. So here I'll click close, and I have 1 more attempt to get the correct answer. So you do have 1 to 3 attempts for each question. It depends on the different questions. So here, this correct answer actually is DXF. So when I choose that, I'll get a notification that it's correct. So now I feel confident as I answered the question correctly. I can move on to the next video. So here I'll click File Conversion to go to the next page. So at the very top above the video, you see here a download file link. So when you click this button here, it's going to download that file so that you can follow along on your computer if you want to. So you see there at the bottom, it's downloaded. So now I can open that file and follow along with this conversion video. And then again, if we go down, we'll have the quiz questions, then you'll go to the next page. And you can also navigate through the course by going up here and then choosing the pages. So I'm going to actually skip, because we're not going through the courses, I'm going to skip to the conclusion page. So this is just the ending of the course. There's a survey option, so if you want to take the survey, you can click here, take our survey, and give us your feedback. Every month we do updates, and those updates are coming from customer feedback. So it's really important to us, if you do have feedback, to send it to us, and we do look through those and make adjustments as we can. Now, to complete the course, you need to complete the test. So you'll click here to go to the test page. You can click that. You also can go to here and choose the test if you want to navigate that way. So I'll click here, and this takes us through the test. So you can see here the questions. You have some that are multiple choice, like at the top. This is the drag and drop option, where I'm dragging the images to either yes, we can convert it, or no, we cannot. And then we'll follow through with some other multiple choice. There are some other types of questions like sorting. There's a few where you watch a little video and then select which tool is in the video. So after you've completed the test, you will get a message that comes up that shows you that you've completed it. So it'll either tell you that you've passed or that you haven't. You can always check your progress during the course by clicking on these lines all the way on the far left, and that will allow you to go to your course results. So right now I only have completed 7% because I only answered one question. So what you want in this course, I want 14 out of 14 to be complete. So here you can actually see which things are complete. So the first one is complete, and then everything else is incomplete. So that's where you can kind of check your progress to see where you're at. So once you've completed the course and gotten a score of 80% or higher, you will get a message notifying you of that, and then you also will get a certificate. So I'm going to save and return back to the main site, and then click on the My Learning section at the top, which will go into my learning area. So here you can see this course, which is in progress. If I click on complete, I'll see the courses that I've completed. If I click awards, I'll see any awards that I have. So for this, I have 2 courses that have been completed, and I have certificates. So let's just go back to the main site for one last thing in here. So I just want to review, because we didn't go into any of these other sections. So here in the areas of interest, if I click on setup and configuration, what you'll see is a mixture of content. So in this one, we have only how-to guides. But if I go back actually to another section like 3D, then I should have a little bit more content. So here I have how-to guides. I also have webinars related to 3D. I also have express videos and the DigiNote Series. So you can find a mixture of things in this section as well as in the learning paths and the products. So I think that's it for the website. So I'm going to pass it back to Haley, who's going to continue with a little bit more information for everyone.
All right, thank you, Lauren. That's great. So we're just going to kind of wrap up the webinar here by talking about what's coming next and discussing the subscription. So what's coming next is we're going to be coming out with more certifications. Again, 3D will be next week, grading, marker, more e-learning programs, grading, marker, advanced 2D and 3D. We're also discussing as well localization, which means offering it in different languages. So that is something we're discussing and we'll update with what languages that may be and when we'll be releasing. Also adding content on a monthly basis. Again, that comes from not only your feedback, but also just kind of bulking up the information like podcasts, DigiNote, HowTo Guides. So you may have a lot of questions about how much does it cost. So the eLearning is subscription-based. So you buy a subscription per person. Now, it's all tiered pricing, so it depends on how many users you wanted to get subscriptions for. So if you fall in the category of 1 to 10 users, it's $300 per year per user. And then from there, it gets just a better deal because it's a lot more logins that you're purchasing for the subscription. Also good to point out that we do have special pricing available for EDU. So whether you're a student or a teacher, make sure to contact your account manager at Optitex, or you can just shoot us an email, which we'll give you here in a second. And we're happy to connect you with someone that can discuss the special pricing for EDU. So how to subscribe? The first way to do it is if you're already an Optitex customer to contact your account manager. They can go ahead and send you a quote for the subscription based off how many subscription logins you'd like. And if you're not sure who your account manager is, or you're not a customer, just make sure to email us at optitexcertification@efi.com. So across the board, if you want to get in contact with any of us, Lauren, myself, about how do I get a subscription? Maybe you have some ideas, like Lauren had mentioned, for express videos or podcasts. Make sure to just shoot us an email. We're happy to help, and we love to hear your feedback. So again, that's optitexcertification@efi.com. So that kind of wraps everything up in terms of what we had to show you. So we really wanted to take a deep dive into it, just to show you how the functionality of everything and how it works. So at this point, we just want to open it up for questions. We haven't really seen anything come in yet, so if you want to just write a question into the question section of the webinar, we'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. So we'll just kind of take a pause for a minute or two and see what questions come in, and then we'll just wrap it up. So there's a question that says, does this replace the support desk, which we pay a yearly fee for? So no, it does not replace support by any means. You still have access to support. What this is it's assisting you with training. So right now, we mostly do our training one-on-one, whether that's online or in person. So what this is supplemental to that training. So it's training focused, not support focused.
There's another question in here, similar topic. Will the help page still be available? The help page will still be available. That's a separate thing that we have. So like Haley said, the e-learning is really for training and additional information, but the help site will also be available. So we have another question in here. We think it's asking about certifications for 3D flattening. So we do have 3D certification coming out soon. It doesn't include flattening, but that's something that we'll add to the list of kind of requests we get from people. So there's a question about translating the e-learning pages. So currently everything is in English as far as content. So you would be able to translate the web page just through, you know, just normal translation. We are working on a localization plan so that we'll be able to bring additional languages to different areas. But right now everything is in English. If you do have languages that you would like to see the content translated to, that's definitely something that if you want to email our Optitex certification at efi.com email address to just let us know, that would really be helpful for us to get feedback from people as far as what it is that you're looking for.
So there's a question about, can I practice in the program while learning? Absolutely. Obviously, you need to have a key of Optitex to be doing that. But if you, you know, are watching the video and you want to follow along, that's why you get a downloadable file that's attached to the page. So a lot of the courses, especially ones that go through a file, we give you actually the same file to download to work along with the trainer. So if you wanted to use that to work along with it. If you don't have the program, then it would be a matter of reaching out to an account manager or a sales team to figure out how to purchase it.
So there are a couple of questions here asking specifically about binding and smoothing. So if you do have a question we haven't answered, the best thing that you should do, because it seems that you have a specific question, is either to email us at our certification email or to email our support team, which you can contact them at support.optitex@efi.com so that we can look specifically at a file and a situation that you have a question about.
Okay, so thank you all for attending. We really appreciate it. We hope you found it as interesting that we do, especially since we pulled it out of a hat and decided to make the program ourselves. But if you have any questions that we didn't answer, or if you want to learn more about it, again, contact your account manager or reach out to us by emailing optitexcertification@efi.com. Thank you all so much for joining. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.